Hello, Rashika. Okay, fine. Now, Vinesh, we are live now.
Okay.
We are live now. We can admit the students now. Karthik, is it good to go?
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Okay. We are live.
Hello everyone, welcome to the third masterclass. We'll be starting this class shortly. Until then, we'll wait for some more people. Make sure you all have good internet connection. All your friends and teammates have joined. And as always, if Zoom is full, you all must have received the link for YouTube Live. So in case you're not able to attend Zoom, you can go to YouTube. So we'll be starting this session shortly. Alright. Hello everyone. Good evening to all of you. Welcome to IBM Skills Will Summer Certification Program 2025. The key thematic area is Agentic AI. It's called From Learner to Builder, Become an AI Agent Architect. This is the third masterclass. I hope you're all ready and excited to learn. So let's begin. Looking at the timeline, so we have already gone through the foundations of agentic AI and also built some AI agents using drag and drop, coding, and reflex agents. Today, we will be using prompt engineering for multi-agent collaboration. So let's start today's class with all your attendance. So let's take a few minutes. You guys, most of you are already aware of the rules. We have two-way attendance, one for in, one for out. So it won't be appreciated if you mark both attendance right now. So we have a 15-minute window for both attendances. In attendance is open right now for 15 minutes. You can scan this QR code to mark that, and save will happen for out attendance. You can only mark the attendance when in those 15 minutes when you look on the time. So let's take a few minutes. I'll give you all 2 minutes to maybe scan this QR code. You will also receive the link for the attendance in your chat as well as your WhatsApp groups. So take 2 minutes and mark your attendance, and then we'll continue with the session. And I request you to please put the attendance link in the Zoom chat as well. Not people unable to scan the QR code. Anil or Manish, if you can.
Yes, Karthik, in a minute. Just give me.
Meantime, you guys are marking your attendance. Let's look at some of our queries. Gautam says, I just had a question about final project where to submit and what are the expectations. You will get to know about them, Gautam. Mr. Amit will tell you all about them. Okay, so a lot of people have marked their attendance. Okay, so the attendance link is in the chat. So you guys can use that. All right, I think we should now start. I am sure all of you have marked your attendance. Okay, let's begin. We'll now move on. Okay, so this is probably the biggest question right now. Everybody wants the access to IBM Cloud. So we are in the process of distributing the domain ID and password. Do not worry. As we said, this week you will be receiving both domain ID and password that you will use to register on IBM Cloud. And along with that, the email that you receive, it will also have the videos multiple that will demonstrate how you can register yourself on the IBM Cloud. Those videos will clarify any errors or any queries that you may encounter while registering. So our only request to you is make sure that your inbox is open. If it is full, maybe delete some unwanted emails. Maybe keep an eye on your spam folder as well, and or other details as well. Maybe your email ID might have been not have been active for a long time, or the storage might be not enough in your drive. So we would request that make sure that your inbox is ready in case any email is sent. So if your inbox is not ready, the email delivery will be rejected and you might not receive your domain ID and password. So don't worry, we are receiving a lot of queries about domain ID and password. And as we said, this week, you all will be receiving them. Not all the people who completed their learning plan and submitted the certificates for the Agentic AI learning plan on IBM Skills. Okay, moving on. So again, this is something that most of you already have, but in case you don't, you guys already know the rule. If you guys have any query or any doubts, you can use the query form to reach out to us, submit this form, and we would request the team leaders to submit it on behalf of the team. And as always, please be patient. We do not suggest using WhatsApp or personal call for any queries. So another major announcement is that your mentoring session with IBMers is scheduled on 23rd of July 2025. It's on Wednesday, 6 p.m. So please make sure that you all are there. And let's now please welcome Mr. Amit Tiwari, not taking a lot of time from him. We all know our speaker. He's an entrepreneur, he's consultant, and also trainer. So please welcome Mr. Amit Tiwari. Over to you, Amit.
Thank you so much, Karthik. Hello everyone, welcome to Masterclass 3. Today we are going to explore the world of multi-AI agent system, and we are going to also learn prompt engineering in the process. I think it is really important before we introduce multi-agent systems, because prompts is what we will use to communicate between these multiple AI agents that we will design later on. I'm so sorry. I'm feeling a little bit under the weather right now, and that's why my voice is also cracking. I might take a little bit pauses. Actually, I'm having a little bit of fever and cough. I will keep this session a little short. And let me just quickly share the slides so that you can see my screen. All right. So we are building multi-AI agents with prompt engineering. Right. Till now, what we were doing is we were only working with simple AI agents, right? So we worked with LangGraphs in our previous class, where we designed a system, a AI agent system for a hospital, right? Which is uh, intelligently asking the query from a person, and then uh, routing that person to the correct ward. Maybe it is maybe it is mental, or general, or if it is critical. It was making a decision on behalf of us or a human, right? And it was understanding this query in very natural language, so we did not have to be very medical specific about it. If you just tell your symptoms, it will be able to understand these symptoms. Now, what are these multi agents and how can we build them? It was a simple single agent system, right? So we were using one API from Gemini, and it was not collaborating with other AI agents. It was just one agent. So a single agent system has an agent in a decision making agent, and we prompt this agent with some prompt engineering. In our last class, if you remember, we told them you are a helpful medical assistant. If you encounter any input from the person, then categorize that into this, and give only one word for as the answer. So if it is a mental health problem, say mental. If it is a general problem, then say general. And if it is a emergency problem, say emergency, right? So we also prompted this agent to behave in a certain manner. So a single agent system is kind of like a API, which we call to write or read from some docs. So it can perform some tools. It can work on some tools, or it can perform some actions. But a more robust multi-agent system will have different type of agents which play different type of roles. And then there is a supervisor that routes the request to the correct team. So whatever the user is requesting, it is it is routing this to correct team. So each team can have like different agents working together. These agents can give their input or output, give their output to other agents, and these other agents function on that output and can lead to a better or more robust workflow. All right. So let me give you example of a digital marketing agent, let's say. So if you are aware of the digital marketing uh, thing or digital marketing business, then you know there are different type of roles in a digital marketing agency. And there is a strategy designer who designs the strategy for digital marketing or the marketing strategy. There's a content writer who writes the content. There's a content scheduler that schedules the content. There's a graphic designer. There is a social SEO, and there can be many different type of roles in a company, right? So a multi-agent system can, how will it look like? So there will be an orchestrator which will take in the query from the person. So let's say that I say I want to, I recently went to Goa for a conference, and I want to highlight that into social media, and I send this query to the digital marketing agent. So what it will go do is orchestrator will take my query. If it is just content writing, it will route it to content writer agent, which will write my description of my trip. It can also design a graphic based on whatever the prop, whatever I suggested, and then maybe both of them can give it to content scheduler, and it can schedule that content on which time to post or what day to post that. And then again, the data analyzer analyzes my data, whether my post is performing right or wrong, whether I am getting more likes while posting it at a particular time. And then it is giving that to a strategy designer, which is changing my strategy to post at some other time rather than that time. So it can be a collaboration of different agents. Now, here not just a single agent is performing all these steps. Okay, so this is kind of like multiple agents working together. The output of one agent is put into other agent, and the other agent is interacting with different tools. So let's say that my content writer is interacting with the content for different pieces like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, all these social media things. My content scheduler is interacting with different type of APIs. Let's say that Facebook to post it on Meta API, to Meta Graph API, particularly to post it on Instagram and Facebook. And then it is also working with WordPress API to maybe update my blog. It is also working with Twitter API to update my tweets. And it is also working with, let's say, LinkedIn API to update my content on LinkedIn. So my each of my agent is working with different tools, and they have their roles defined. So my content writer agent will never post the content. Why? Because its role is just to write the content and relevant content for a different uh, social media. And my content scheduler agent just have one work, which is to schedule that content on a particular or right platform. My graphic designer agent will only design graphics. It is kind of like working with different kind of APIs. The idea behind a multi-agent system is to automate processes which are repetitive. So you think of jobs which are repetitive, let's say personal assistants, they are repetitive, right? So what they do is whatever their boss says, they might delegate that task to the relevant person in the company and may follow up from those, or maybe set up a meeting with a client, maybe draft an email to someone, scheduling a call or a visit. So they basically do what their boss tells them to do. So we can design these kind of complex agents like a digital marketing agent or a personal assistant, which do repetitive jobs, which are not very creative jobs. And AI is going to replace a lot of them. And particularly the things that I told, like business development executive, personal assistants, digital marketing, and many more. Uh, so how to create these agents, and how will these different agents, like let's say a multi-agent system, how will these different agents communicate with each other, right? We said we designed our first agent, single agent system, and it was communicating with the input. We were having an input. Just give me, yeah. So we were basically having an input, and we were having a large language model in the loop, and this input was a prompt, and then we were getting output. But here the situation become complicated. What is the output that we need? Whether we need the perfect kind of output or not is also what we need to manage, right? So our prompting for each agent should be really powerful. To learn this prompt engineering, which is kind of like a uh, very high paid job back in 2024, and it was one of the most hyped one, also, that we require prompt engineers more than anything. And rightly so, because just like any tool that we have in the market, if we say like Excel, PowerPoint, Adobe tools and all, we need skills to work with these tools, and AI is just one of the tools. And how to make AI work better is what we always should thrive, and prompt engineering is the way that we can do it. So how to work with large language models is, we all know that to interact with a large language model, we need prompts. These prompts are instructions that we give as input to AI models to give the output that we desire, right? So if I have a generative AI agent, whatever agent that I am using, uh, depending on what output it throws, I give a prompt and it gives me text, image, video, audio, or code, whatever output that I desire from this. If I give a basic or a baseline prompt to any generative AI agent, I get a basic or unreliable output. Okay. So generally, when we talk with large language model, we tend to be little careless about how we ask questions to a large language model. Maybe we are too casual in our day-to-day life, in which how we talk, right? So I teach natural language processing, and I was having a discussion today in my class, that human beings, how they interact with each other, and how large language models are, is we will although we try to mimic the intelligence or the language understanding of how human beings understand language in machines, we are completely not there, uh, in a way that humans understand language, right? So we don't generate words, or we don't generate word by word, right? How are these large language model? They only generate the next, or they predict the next word in the sequence. But human beings, I think they predict the whole sentence. Right now I'm talking, I'm not thinking about the next word that I should speak, right? So I'm speaking fluently because there are thoughts that are coming in my mind, and then I'm just able to put them into the words. The mimicking would be that I can only speak one word at a time, and that would be only mimicking factor that we have been able to achieve with generative AI till now. And in the future, we also want to tend to move away from this behavior where we can only predict the next word in the sequence. We want language models to behave as humanly as possible in terms of language. But we have these limitations now, and we want generative AI agents to give the reliable output always. But it always depends on the input that we give. So it's always like garbage in, garbage out, right? So if you give a basic or baseline prompt, you will get a basic or unreliable output. And prompt engineering is something how we can get the desired or reliable output all the time. So if I show you this diagram where there are many multiple agents working together, it's very necessary to get the desired result each time, right? Because if I want to create a digital marketing agent, then I really need all these agents to work together. So I need my content writer agent to work properly. I need my content scheduler agent to work properly. I need my graphic designer agent to work properly, and all of them should give a reliable output. So my content writer agent's input depends on strategy designer agent's output, right? So my strategy designer will write me, will give me strategy for the content that I should write. So the output should be really, really reliable. If I am having any hallucination at any point of time, then my digital marketing agent won't work. All right. So let's learn this concept of prompt engineering. Maybe if you are any of the old students of IBM, if you have attended any other master classes, maybe I have taken this session in a boot camp. But essentially, prompt engineering is one of the basics that we need to understand before we design our agents. So let's get our hands to it. Let's do a more hands-on approach so that you understand it better. And we'll take a hypothetical situation. So let's say that you work for a company where you want where that company wants to automate all these branding processes. Okay, so I am saying um, I'm here using digital marketing agent um, as a multi-agent system. So let's say that there is one more agent here, which let's say names the name. Let me just write it here. Which names the product also, okay? Which suggests names. And based on the name, you design content, you design graphics and everything. Okay. So I forgot to mention this. So let's say that I work with a company for whom I'm designing a digital marketing agent, and they ask me to design a name generator. Okay. All right. And the company is basically a company that designs sunglasses, and they you have been tasked to generate names of a brand of adaptable sunglasses that work in light and dark. Okay, so you've been tasked to brainstorm names or generate names for any product. So let's say that this company is launching this new product, and then they just give the uh, description of the product. So they say adaptable sunglasses that work in light and dark, and your agent should be able to name this these glasses. All right. Now you will say, what's new in this? If I ask ChatGPT, uh, name sunglasses that can adapt in or work in light and dark, and it will give me names, right? So let's do that. And see why it is not correct uh, to just start with a very basic or baseline prompt. So I'll go to my browser. Maybe you can too. Uh, Go to ChatGPT. Just a second. So I will open ChatGPT somewhere where I have not trained that system. Maybe in some of the ID where let's say I think it is trained here. Maybe from my college ID. All right, so I will go to OpenAI ChatGPT and click on Try ChatGPT. I might also log in. You also log into your ChatGPT account, and then let's learn this prompt engineering process step by step. Sorry. All right. So I told you that what we are doing is we are basically naming these sunglasses that can adapt in light and dark, right? So this is the task that have been given to us. And let's start with a basic prompt. This is how we normally use ChatGPT, right? So we can say brainstorm names of a product Sunglasses that can adapt in light and dark. Okay. So I say, okay, name these sunglasses, and it will give me names, right? So it will start writing. There's function focused names, stylish and modern names, maybe nature inspired names, tech forward names, short and memorable, and all. Now, why we are using ChatGPT? Because we can use any large language model for that matter. We can also use Gemini or any API. Even if we use any API, it will give me all of these names. And it is giving me right now, I don't know how many. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 plus 8, 16, plus 7 is 23, plus 7 is 30, and 7, 37 names, right? So it's not desirable to name one product with 37 names, right? So no company does that. And AI is not this agent is not making our work easier here. It is not making any other agent's work easier. In fact, it is making it more complicated. So if I give a basic prompt like this, then I don't get the desired result or the output. And I can't use this output of 37 names anywhere in my pipeline, right? So uh, if this name generator goes to the output of a name generator goes to graphic designer agent to design the logo for the name. Okay. So if I give 37 names as an output, then this graphic designer agent will draw 37 logos, and that is not desirable. That is a waste of resource, right? And maybe out of these 37 names, I don't like any name, right? And why so? Because I have told this agent nothing about my company, because I have not engineered my prompt. I have used a very basic or a baseline prompt. So you go to a new ChatGPT window, or open a ChatGPT account, and then just write in this baseline prompt and let me know what kind of answers are you getting from this prompt. So just type in the top three answers that you are getting in the chat box, and I'll be able to read from there what answers you are getting. Some people are asking, can you use Gemini? Yes, you can use Gemini. And so Padmapriya is saying adaptive vision, chameleon lenses, dynamic optics. Uh, Drishti is getting these 30 names, Neo Optics, Light Chick, Perceptrix, Ravya, Shift, Gen Lens. And yeah, Pranav is getting Lumo Shift, Solar Nair, Day Night. Sridanga is getting Lux Shift, Auto Shade and Lumilens. Charvi is getting Luma Shift, Shade Sync, and Auto Tint. Uh, Sake is getting Luma Shift or Light Adapt and Auto Shade. Alpesh is getting Solar Free. Lux Logic, Eclipse Elite. Keshav is getting Luma Shift, Opti Shade, and Glare X, right? And maybe you will say, what's I just need one name. So what's a rocket science in this, right? So I will just type in here, give me one name, right? And my problem will be solved. It says Lumo Shift. I take this and then use this for production. But is it carrying my brand's personality? Is it carrying the names that um, is it carrying the name that I should like or my audience should prefer? Is it carrying uh, a kind of a brand sense in it? No, it is just randomly giving me any name, and this will always give me different names. So if I run this again, maybe I will get a different name, and Lumo from Light. It's also giving me an explanation. It's still unreliable input, even if I write, give me one name, right? Because I could not guide this large language model to behave in a proper way to get me a reliable output. So how can we get a reliable output from this? And also how to apply prompt engineering is what we will tackle next. So um, I don't need. Okay. Yeah. All right. So to follow prompt engineering, there are six basic principles. And if we follow these six basic principles, no matter what tool that we are and what kind of content that we are generating, if we follow these five principles, then we will be able to guide the large language model in a way that it always gives me the reliable output. Okay. So let's start with the first basic principle is to define the persona of the agent. All right. So while we are building any agent, we want that agent to take up a persona. And this becomes particularly important when we are designing a multi-agent system, right? So when we have a multi-agent system like this, so I want each one of these agent to behave in a certain manner. So strategy designer should think like a strategy designer. This content writer should think like a content writer. This content scheduler should think like a content scheduler. And this graphic designer should think like a graphic designer. And this is the role that they should take. So the first principle of prompting or prompt engineering is to define the persona. So what that that this agent should think like, right? So by defining the persona, we'll be able to guide the agent to behave in a certain way. Let's go and implement that. Okay, so go back to your chat GPT and define the persona. Just remove this, give me one name one, and this I don't need. So defining a persona can be done in two ways. The best way is to write UR, and you can also write IM. Okay, so no matter how you write, it will understand that you are defining a persona. So you can start with UR. So you are um or you can also write act like a. Okay, so but the general way of writing or giving a persona is always UR. So let's say you are a brand consultant for a company that designs sunglasses. Okay, right now I'm specifying this company name here, but in reality, what you will do is you will put up a form that takes in input from that company, and then maybe you will parse that information. So you will parse that information here as that designs, and you will take input from any form. So let's say product. Okay, so whatever the value of the product from previous step, you will parse it here. So I'll just talk about this later. Let's keep it a little simpler. Okay, so let's talk that you are a brand consultant for a company that designs sunglasses and brainstorm names of a product, sunglasses that can adapt in light and dark, and then you send it. Sorry. And you see the shift in uh, the names, right? So it was giving me, when I was giving it a prompt, just a basic prompt, it was giving me this Function focus name, stylish, nature inspired, tech forward, short and memorable, which is for general purpose. Now, when I gave it a persona, I said that behave like a brand consultant, and you are a brand consultant for a company that designs sunglasses and brainstorm names of a product, sunglasses that can adapt in light and dark. And then it is giving me these names like tech savvy or futuristic, something like this, natural, something like this, lifestyle, something like this, minimalist, and all, right? And it is also asking me questions. Would you like suggestion tailored to a specific target audience or tone? We will define it later. Okay. So if you have given a personality to your um, agent, just reply with um, done, and also share me names that you are getting, the top three names that you are getting in your chat GPT now. And you can see a change, right? As you refine your prompt. So as we apply all the five rules, we will see a huge change in the output that we get, and we will tweak our input, our prompt to a way that ChatGPT behaves always consistent and always in a direction in which I want it to behave. I will talk about those five rules one by one. So let's apply just one rule. Okay, so I'm getting names like Luma Shift, Soul Noma, Vario, Lumen Shift Shade Sync, Light Mode, Lux Shift, Visilex, Glowride Shadow Play, Noir Flex, Luminex Shade Shift Photomorph, and similar kind of names that I'm getting. Optimorph, Veluxa, Solnix, Clearlux. Yeah, so and it's also getting so Rushab is getting Luma Flex Adaptation Photo Sync. Soham is getting Luma Shift. Prachi is getting Shade Morph and all these. All right, so persona is um, what character, what personality it should take. And the easy way is to define what kind of role it should take. And there can be many layers defining a persona, and you can define your agent up to very accurate persona. But this is not a class on defining personas. This is more about generic way of um, making our AI agents work in a certain way. And the second principle is to give direction. Okay, so after defining the persona, you give direction to the agent in which direction it should think like. Okay, and there can be many ways of doing this. A simple way is to introduce the seed words. In this particular case, so introduce these seed words, and these seed words are the words that define your company. So if I talk about naming, or if I talk about any company, then there are words that define certain product. So let me talk about a situation of soaps. Okay, so if I talk about soap names, then there is certain brand image that will come in your brain. So if I talk about Dove as the soap, first thing that comes in your mind is white, right, and soft, and maybe it's for uh, uh, girls, or um, uh, uh, yeah. So if I talk about Dove, then these three things come in your mind, right? White, soft, soft skin. If I talk about Dettol, then what comes to your mind is safety, protection, green, uh, and these are the seed words that come in that define a brand, right? So each brand or each product is being defined by certain words, and there's a huge exercise that goes on actually before we launch a product in the market. This branding exercise is really, really tricky, and to create a perception in people's mind. So if I talk about Lifebuoy, then what comes in your mind is germ control or germ protection. Red comes in your mind. A plus sign comes in your mind. This all has been meticulously designed. So what we will do now is we will also guide our. If I'm naming this product, then what my company stands for and what that product should be, or what that product is, I will define that kind of product, and I will use these seed words. So these seed words are nothing but they kind of like give direction to the agent to think like, right? For a email writing agent, my seed words can be how I want the email to be written, like professional, concise, uh, should be read in like 10 seconds, 10 minutes, or something like that, right? So I will define these kind of directions. So if I have the sunglasses that can adapt in light and dark, my seed words can be futuristic. So give me only names which are futuristic. Adaptable can be a seed word. Let's say affordability is also my company's USP, so I will write affordable. Let's say Gen Z, I am designing it for Gen Z, or let's say um, stylish. Okay, so my these are kind of like the directions I want the AI agent to think like, so that it doesn't go here and there. So if I see this, it is giving me nature inspired name, but my company doesn't have that as a value, or that my company doesn't associate with, let's say, nature. So I will not use that as a I will not use those names, and I want it to particularly behave in certain manner, and I will hit send. And now I will see that my names are now changing. It is giving me names in these things like futuristic and adaptable, and Gen Z plus stylish, affordable and cool, hybrid vibe. So still 20 names to choose from, but I'm narrowing down my output. This is the output that I desire, right? So this is the values that my company stands for, and this is what I'm getting as the output. Right. So quickly type in your seed words. It can be different from mine, and you can be creative as possible. And just give me the top three names so that we can move ahead. And let me just also see how your answer is changing. I'm sorry, I can't be a little energetic today. I am feeling a little low in energy, but we will keep this session like this, and I will derive my energy from your answers. Priyanshu is saying Luma Shift, Shade Sync, Optimorph, Shade Z is AJ's answer. Yana is saying that his answers didn't change much. Maybe it was already giving the answers in those domains. Abdul Karim is saying Glint, Tint Sync, and Nova Tint is what he's getting. Archie is saying Lumen Shift. Priyanshu is saying Lumine, Sky Shift, and OptiSync. He was getting Luma Shade, Chrome Shift, and Day Night or Flux Lens like that. And Varun is saying Lumo Shift, Auto Tint, Flow, Photo Flex. Now it is getting 10 Tintera, Glimzed, Sunsage, Flex Chashma. Yeah, because he wanted it to be desi and cool and everything. Cool. So you are being creative also in the process, and I really like that. Shravani is saying Nook View Halo Flux Soul Morph. Dhanvi is saying that she's getting Lux Switch Optiflex Bravo 6 going dark. Okay. And Lumos Shadeshift and Flux Vision, Jobanveer Singh Ozda is getting. He was previously getting Chroma Shift, Luma Flex, and Shade Sync. And these answers will change as we give more direction. And right now, we are using seed words. There can be many different ways of giving directions. All right. Now, after giving directions, I'm still not satisfied, right? I'm still getting 20 names and I still have to choose from one. How will I choose it? How can I make my agent more reliable? So we will go to next prompt engineering technique, which is to specify format. And this becomes really necessary because when I go and do a multi-agent system, then each multi-agent system has a specific type of input that it gets. So this strategy designer will design some tasks uh, which go to content writer agent. It also designs some tasks which go to graphic designer agent, and the tasks that go to content writer agent and the tasks that go to graphic designer agents are two different tasks, right? So for content writing, I just need to tell the topic and the tone and all these things. For graphic designing, I need more clarity. Should it be a poster? Should it be a image? Should it be, and how it should look like? Should it be realistic and all these things? So these are two different outputs that I get from a single agent, and I need to specify that format in which it should return the output. A general rule of thumb is to use JSON as the format to be passed because it's easier to read a JSON file, and it's light also. So, but we will not go into technicalities while learning this. Uh, but it's really important to define the format. Okay. So how the data is being transferred from one agent to other agent is through it should be in a specific format, right? So you specify this format also. So we never told this agent to write names in a specific format. That's why it is always giving me a list of all these names. Okay, so now what I will do is I will ask it to specify the format. Okay, I'll specify the format. So give the names in a, let's say JSON only. Okay, JSON format with these inputs, uh, with these fields. Okay, product name, product description, description, and then seed words. I want to preserve my seed words also, which I am giving it at one point. I want to just pass them forward also to maybe some other agent. Okay? And product names. Product names and three names only. I'm here writing. Okay. And I hit send. Right. So starts to give me these different names. All right. So now um it is giving me three different names: Shade Shift, Lux Morph, and Glow Mod, right? And it is giving me in a very structured format, which I can parse in my future output. Okay. So now the output which I was getting like this, which was again like in a string format, in a there were some emojis which I don't use. There were some different kind of uh, different kind of formatting. Maybe someone was getting it not in this way, maybe someone was getting it in one single line. When we specified the format, we got it like this. So now by parsing any value out of this, we will be able to use these names in other agents. So I can call this product name from this JSON file, and I will be able to use this shade shift, the value of whatever is in this product name field. I will be able to take this value from there. All right. And I think I was wrong in this. I think I should just define it in a string so that I can just get it in a single formula. So I did not specify this as a string and as an array, and that's why I was getting it like this. And then when I specified the format more, so I got these three names: Lumo Shift, Shade Sync, and Neotint. All right. So now I can use this into my uh, as a input to my other agent, which can maybe write a description for this, or which can maybe even write a ad for this. Okay. All right. So what now? Now from a input from a output like this, which was non-reliable, very generic, to a very specific output in a very specific format, which I can use just by following this principle of prompt engineering. I was able to design more robust. Yeah, I was able to design this agent which can name these products. Okay. Now, now what we can also do is we can also parse in this product description from some other agent. So there can be an agent which onboards um, these companies and then asks for the product description initially, and then we can parse this information from there to here, and then we can use that as a in our prompt to uh, give us the names in this kind of like format, right? So quickly give me the three names that you are getting in when you changed when you applied this uh, prompt engineering, when you applied this fourth principle of prompt engineering, which was to specify format. Okay. So quickly give in your three names that you are getting now. Hers is getting Luminar, Aether, Velora Shade, Lunette Noir, Noor Shade, Lux Switch, Desi Dusk. Uh, Pathan Afsan Khan is getting that. Adrish is getting Luma Shift, Neo Shade, Flux Vision. Socket is getting Future Shade, Adaptix, Glow Shift. Avni is getting Lumi Shift, Noir Flex, Halo Morph. Lumen Shift, Glade Mode, Glow Morph. And Gokul Maran is getting uh, I think he's not applying it right. Product description is, yeah. So he named he asked name first. Product description is Ether Pack blend sleek space age design with eco-friendly material. So he's getting Ether Pack and Vedra code and all these things. Ratan Tiwari is getting Aura Flex Shift Lens and Chromagen. All right. So whatever you are getting, the three names that you are getting in a JSON format, it's fine. And this is after applying our third principle of prompt engineering. So we applied the first principle, which was to take up a persona. Second is to give a direction. Third is to specify the format. Okay. Still, I'm not satisfied with this. Why? Because uh, each company has a way of naming products, and we have not trained this agent with my company's way of naming. Okay. So very important is to provide examples to learn from how it should name different kind of products. If you are making an email writing agent, then how you write emails, provide those as examples. If you are making a content writer, or you want to make an agent which writes Facebook posts, then you will have to train it with how you write your Facebook posts, your past Facebook post or your past Instagram posts. If you want to make a content writer that writes a blog, then you train it with the past blogs that you have written so that it learns from those examples, and this provides consistency in your answers. All right. So provide examples is the fourth principle of prompt engineering, and we will use it here. So I will engineer this prompt more. I will type hashtag examples, and I will write in some examples. Okay. So let's say product description, and I will just show you why examples are very important. Okay. So let me trick this chat GPT to think like like Apple as a company. Okay. So I will trick this. So right now it is giving me all these kind of like um uh, f- dynamic names like Lumo Shift, SageSync, Neotint, all these amazing cool names. Let me trick this to name this like Apple. Okay. So let me give a product description. Uh, a phone for all people. Okay. And seed words is what can be seed words of Apple? Let me give the seed words same like futuristic, Gen Z, stylish. Okay. Although affordable should not be one that uh, represents Apple. Okay. And product name is iPhone. Okay. And let me write three names. Let me say iMobile, although it is not the uh, right kind of right kind of training that I'm giving right now, but I'm just tricking it to think like Apple. Okay. Or maybe iConnect. Right. And I give more examples, like let's say product description, earphone for everyone. Okay. And seed words remain the same. And my product name is iPod, I ears, or I audible. Okay. Let's say just giving it more examples to train from. Okay. Why was it cut off? Okay. More product description. Wait. Computer for everyone. Okay. And seed words is still the same. And product name is iMac, IPC, iComp. Okay. And let me give one more. So general rule of thumb is to give four examples. It learns better from there. What can be a tablet, computer, tablet, or everyone. I just don't want to confuse it with some other tablet. Seed words will be same. Product name will be iPad, iTablet, iBoard. Okay, just a hypothetical example. So I'm training it from Apple's name. Maybe I'm inspired by how Apple names, and I want it to also feel the same. And maybe these can, like in a real life situation, this can be names from my actual product names of the company, which are different than these names. So let's say that I have some other glasses and I've named them something in past. So I will just parse in those kind of names. So when I hit send, uh see, I tricked it to name it like eye glow, eye shade, and eye view. So how it was naming before was this Lumo shift and all, and now it's learning from my examples, and it's giving me name like eye glow, eye shade, eye view. All right, so just do it quickly with me, write in examples and see how your name changes. Arjun is saying, can you please post the prompt in chat? Sorry, I won't. You will have to type it on your own. At least this much you can type. All right, so now just give some examples of this prompt to this uh, give some examples to behave it in a particular way, um, and then see how it changes. So I am right now training it to name like Apple, but you can train it to name like any other company. Let's say that how Ray-Ban names its product, or how Lenskart names its product. So you are basically inspired by them, and then you can use those examples. Right now, I use the example of how Apple names, and I can see that it learned from these examples, and I changed its answer to that format. So Avni is also getting eye glow, eye shade, and eye vision. And I think that a lot of people will narrow it down to what I am getting. So Island is getting eye shade, eye lux, eye glimmer. Archie is getting eye shade, eye gleam, eye flex. Priyanshu is saying eye shade, eye adapt, eye glow. Rhythm is saying shade sync still. So uh, Yana is getting Lumos, Wagyu, and Shady. AJ is getting Glow Mode. Priyanshu is getting Eye Glow, Eye Shade, Eye Vision. Uh, yeah, so now we are Lashmeet is getting Eye Shade, Eye Glow, Eye View. Okay, so we have narrowed it down. We have trained it to Raj is also getting Eye Glow, Eye Shade, Eye View, similar to how I am getting. Abdul Karim is getting eye glow, eye shade, eye view, similar to how I'm getting. And uh, Yana is getting eye shade, eye glow, eye flex, which is a little bit different from what I'm getting. But almost all of us are getting similar kind of names now because it is learning from our examples. So Rushabh is getting eye shade, eye adapt, eye luma. So basically how we name our company, in our company, if we can provide those examples, it can behave in a certain manner. It's kind of like a real world agent that we have now designed. Okay, so this is not what we will do in reality. Like we will not produce train it with like fake names that we have. In reality, what we will do is we will give them product names which our company had previously named on, or if we are inspired by some names, like I was inspired with Apple, so I could do this. All right, so from a very vague kind of output that I was getting 20 names in a very random format, I have been able to now narrow that output to a very, very structured way. And this is the desired output that we need, right? Out of a large language model, or out of AI, generative AI, I always need desired output, and this is how we will get that desired output. But before we move on, we also have one more thing left, or one more principle, which is to evaluate the quality of the output that it has produced. Okay, so I can ask the AI to evaluate its output on itself. So I can ask it to reason. So I can say that please rate the product names for sunglasses that can adjust in light and dark based on their catchiness, uniqueness, and simplicity, whatever parameters that I want it to rank it on, and rate them on a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being the highest score, and respond only with the table containing the results. Okay. So principle number 5 is to evaluate the quality of the response that we are getting. All right. So we will ask the AI agent to evaluate. Okay, evaluate the names that you uh, suggest on the scale of 1 to 5 based on the seed words, based on their relevance to the seed words, with 1 being the least and 5 being the highest. Return the one with the highest score. Okay, so I want it to evaluate on the base of 1 to 5 on their relevance to seed words, and 1 being the least and 5 being the highest, and return the one with the highest score. So I'm asking it to evaluate it with itself, and it is giving me this evaluation scale, and says that the total scale of eye glow is 23, and eye shade is 21, and eye view is 20, and it is getting me it knows that eye glow is the one with the highest score. So it is now returning that in a JSON format with the best name, which is eye glow, score of that, and justification always key why it is conveying adaptability to light, dark, sound, futuristic, and everything. So whatever parameters that I want to judge that in. All right. So quickly evaluate your. So it is giving this AI model a reasoning capability, where it is reasoning with its own answers and returning the best answer that is uh, there. All right, so just quickly evaluate the names that you suggest on the quickly type in this on the scale of 1 to 5 based on their relevance to the seed words, with 1 being the least and 5 being the highest. Return the one with the highest score. So it will evaluate itself, create a table like this, and it will return the highest scoring name. All right, so once you get it in the chat box, type in the best name that you are getting. And that's the desired result, right? So we wanted it to generate me one name. And yeah, so he's saying best is Shadow Flex. And but how are you, like, are you evaluating it on the base of the performance, or are you evaluating it on the base, or just by evaluating it yourself? So you ask the large language model to evaluate. Uh, for Abdul Karim, it is not returning this in a table format. It might be different for different people. So the idea is to get the best name. All right. So you can specify it here. If you want it in a table format, you can specify here in the prompt itself. 5 being the highest, return a table of scores and JSON with one name having the highest score, score, and justification. Right? If you are not getting the table, then you can always ask it to return a table of score, and then it will just give you like this. Generally, this table is not required actually. So um, you always can work with a JSON. So this table is was just for the education purposes, and you can always get that. But the general rule is all these unnecessary text is not required. Actually, we only need it in JSON format or in some specific format. This was a much better explanation, but still it was giving me two JSON files and then a little bit of garbage in between in the form of this table. So I don't need this table actually in reality. Just to showcase how it should look like. And I'm getting a lot of different names like Shadowflex rating 4. Rushabh is saying that he's getting okay, top 3 recommendation Luma Tune with 23. Yana Patel is getting eye shade. Yeah, first it got eye glow, but now it's getting giving eye shade. Why? Because now you started to rate it, right? Priyanshu Ranjan is saying eye shade with 21. Avni is getting eye glow. Varun is getting top is Desi shade. Dhanvi is getting similar results like me. Joganbir is getting eye shade. And Vikas is getting eye glow. Ratan is getting eye shift. Gokula is getting Ecovanta. So the idea behind this is not to have same output. If we were getting same output, if all of us were getting same output, then there would be no use of generative AI, right? So everyone would name their product same. The idea is that it is probabilistic in nature. It will always design new names each and every time, but we can guide this to think in a particular direction, giving particular examples and wanting it to always return in a way that we want to desire. Now the more perfect we will do this, right, the prompting, although this is following all the frameworks of prompting, but we can be more creative and more mindful while we are writing these prompts. So you can define a persona like you are a brand consultant. You can also define the age. What is the age of the brand consultant? How many years that he has worked for a company? For which company? Having brand experience from where? So you can design everything that you want to decide in a persona, and that would make your um, agent more focused on how you want it to name. Then you can say that you can decide your seed words in a very proper way. You can also give direction in other ways also. Then your example should be really good, and your format should always specify in which format that you are getting. If you want to use CSV file like comma separated values files, then uh, define that, give the names in a CSV format. If you want it in a JSON format, give the names in a JSON format, whatever format you want. But generally, people find JSON parsing very easy. All right. So after all these prompt engineering principles, we are good to go to design our multi-agent system. But I'm sorry, we will not be covering any agentic AI in today's class. Like designing any multi-agent system, we'll be doing it in the next class that we will do. Next class, I will introduce you to multi-agent system and also RAG, like retrieval augmentation generation. How can we do that? Before that, you have a class with an IBMer, and he will also talk about RAG. So don't miss that. It's very much in demand nowadays. Uh, before I jump into multi-agent system, which we will design in our next class, after having all these prompt engineering principles in mind, so that we can design different agent for different work, and maybe pass in information from one agent to other agent and make a good workflow of agents to automate a process which was majorly done by humans in the past. And that's what we are heading towards, creating all these autonomous agents. So a large language model always have limitation, uh, and we can remove those limitations by um, creating different kind of agents. Till now, even in our last class, when we used LangGraph, we used a single agent system, which was still having limitation, right? It could only decide which way to go. Now, each way, let's say general word, uh, can be a agent altogether, and it can perform certain type of things based on the input that it is getting. Then we can have a emergency ward agent which performs different kind of actions. Then we can have like this mental health agent which can perform different kind of actions, and we can orchestrate all of them with an orchestrator. That's all from my side for today's class. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you learned prompt engineering in the process. And it's not a rocket science. We just need to be mindful about the principles to follow to get the specific answer from our agent, so that we can have better collaboration between agents. We can have more reliable output from these agents, and we can have better orchestration. All right. So I will meet you in the next class. Thank you so much for being patient with me. And I will see you in your in the next class with designing our first multi-agent system, where we will have we have different type of agents which will take up different type of roles, and there will be an orchestrator which will manage all these agents. All right. The out attendance will be floated in chat box by my CSR box friends, and they'll just float it now, right? Divyanjali is asking why we are using JSON format. It is easier to parse a JSON format. It's one file that is very much readable by almost all of the programming languages, and it's easier to access data from a JSON format. It's very structured in a way. If I put it in a very simple way, then that's the reason why we are using JSON. We can use any other way also, like we can use CSV also. Ellen is getting iLux, iNoir, and iGleam, and I'm still getting these messages from different people. All right, so just let me know if you have any questions. The out attendance can be floated by the CSR box team now at any point of time. Lilansu asking, sir, is it AI agent or AI workflows? So there is no difference between AI agent and AI workflows. Uh, Basically, agent is kind of like a AI workflow only. And right now we are designing these software AI agents. AI agents can also mean hardware, which is very different from the software look of it. So in software particularly, we try to kind of like design workflows, and that's what we call an AI agent in software terms. And yeah, I think that's the difference between agent as such and workflow. But this is the basic what is happening in the world right now. All of them are designing these kind of agents which are actually workflows. Parsha is saying, can't we use series of prompt rather than typing all the prompt in one go? I read somewhere that series of prompt gives better results. For a large language model, yes. But when you design an agent, how will you manage that series of prompts is what you need to think about. Like, um, uh, in a agent, in a large language model, when you are conversing, it's kind of like a chatbot agent that you are talking to, right? So ChatGPT is a large language model which behaves like a chatbot agent, and it answers whatever you ask it. In that way, asking prompts in a series is better. But in a agent, you will have to write all the prompt at once and expect the output at the end of it. So I think that would be a better way to describe this. Creation is asking me what is the role of NLP in AI. So natural language processing is one branch of artificial intelligence which deals with how we can make computers understand language. Okay. So, and there have been many and multiple ways that humans have attempted to to make the computers understand language, and one of them um, is the AI agents that we is the large language model that we use now. And NLP is the branch of AI that deals with language and language processing. How can we make computers understand what we want to do in very natural way, just like we talk to each other? He's asking, can we learn in that course? I think you can get a course on NLP in IBM Skills Build, right? So you can have a course there. Me teaching it, so I teach NLP in 2 semesters actually in a college. So it's not easy to fit in just 5 master classes. There are many nuances to it. There are many architectures that we need to talk about. There are historical and futuristic concepts that we need to talk about. How we switch from just counting and searching to more sophisticated architectures like transformer architecture, LSTMs, RNNs, and all. So we talk a lot about these things, which I think will be difficult to crunch in these 5 master classes. Maybe we can do a boot camp somewhere in the future on NLP where we can have a kind of like brush up of all the concepts. Uh, all right, so still waiting for yeah, the attendance is there, so you can always mark your attendance. Methley is saying, can we integrate prompt engineering into our mini projects? Yes, you can integrate prompt engineering in your mini projects. And if you are designing AI agents, then it particularly becomes really important to engineer your prompts before you um, design your AI, before you kind of like instruct your AI agents. Yeah. Varun is saying, sir, can the Gemini give the same seed words or it will be different there in it? Means when we give the seed word. Yeah, I think all the large language models, they will give similar kind of answer. There can be a little bit of probabilistic difference between them. So what happens is it depends on how many parameters that large language has. So Gemini would be a bigger parameter model. ChatGPT would be another. It has different kind of parameters. Grok can give you different type of answers, but it will be similar. Now, if you give seed words, then the mapping of these tokens in this vector space, actually what it does is, when you give seed words, it tries to do this self attention. This happens in transformers actually. So once you say give me names of this kind of product and you give the seed words, it tries to map these kind of products with these seed words, and then they all these words that are there in the vector space, they kind of like try to uh, find the similarity between them and then predict the next token that is there in the sequence. So the next word will depend on um, uh, how much relationship it is between these product and the seed words that you are giving, and then that will define the answer. So I think all of the large language model, they should behave in a similar way when we are giving them same seed words. The answer will vary because of the probabilistic nature of all these large language models, but not that much. Uh, okay, Sharon is asking that he wants to train a voice model. Okay, so to train a voice model, what you need is a text to. So training a voice model is not some rocket science. It's just a large language model with two things. One, text to speech, how you can convert a written text into speech so that it can speak whatever it is generating, and speech to text. So how can you convert whatever you are speaking into text? So basically, the input to a large language model would be a text only, and the output of a large language model would be a text only. What changes is in an input, you have a speech to text module which you add, so which converts your speech to text. Then it sends this to a large language model, and in the output you put a text to speech system which converts this to whatever text the large language model has produced into a speech. Okay, so that's it. That's what you need to plug. So you think, so you search for text to speech and speech to text, and you will be good to go with your voice model. You will get an IBM Cloud access in the next masterclass, and you you will be shared resources for the same by my team. Shriyansu is asking, what are the job profiles you see thriving in the next 5 years? See, one major job profile that I see is, and also for the companies, I think, is um, I think agentic AI has a future, but this trend may also die soon. So a blend of tech, AI engineering will be one, and that particularly will not be about large language models. So AI engineers I see as a good future for the next 5 years, and also I see the people who will work on removing the problems. Right. So right now LLMs have these problems of hallucination. Right. So it hallucinates a lot, so I think people who will work on how can they make this large language model more perfect is one of the job profiles that will be like at an advantage. Companies also which will do that will be at advantage. Uh, for starters, I think prompt engineers would still be in demand because of the changing nature of jobs and how people are incorporating AI in their companies. My brother was saying that most of the task delegation in his company, which is EY, Ernst and Young, is being done by AI, and the people who can prompt it better are at better place. So I think prompt engineering roles would be there. AI agent architects would be there, which is more. I think UI UX designers is also one of the interesting profiles that you will see in the next years to come. More creativity, more experience for people to interact with these AI agents is what I feel is thriving. And those, of course, those who can design AI agents for different use cases, that would also be a job profile that would thrive in the next 5 years. And the tech is ever evolving, so you can't even say what are the new jobs that would come. All right, thank you so much for all of your amazing questions. I wish I could answer more. I'm not um Uh, yeah, so Sharon is saying that he was thinking of using XTTS. Yes, yeah, you can use that. And if you're using front end and back end, Then if you're using a website, then you can use the browser-based text to speech and speech to text also for the same. For speech, for text to speech, you will have to use some API from a well-trained model if you're not training your own. Okay. For speech to text, you can use the browser-based interface. Yeah. Cool. You're using Libre for STT. Nice. You can also use IBM. Maybe I will introduce IBM in the next class, and maybe you can also use their API. Anurag Kumar is saying at what stage we need to use mathematics. At every stage, you need to use mathematics if you are designing a large language model. Okay, if you are working with them, you don't need mathematics. If you are working with them, you just need logic. If you're designing them, um, uh, mathematics a lot. Manish is asking, prompt engineering is a job profile or not? See, it's not like people will hire prompt engineers and prompt engineers like that. Like in my company, I call whatever people that I hire as AI engineers, and then I assign them different roles. Like when we are designing an AI agent, like a digital marketing agent, then I will assign one AI agent a role of prompt engineer. So he will just work on prompts. This is how my approach is. Different companies approach it very differently. All right. Keep connecting with me. I'll just share my LinkedIn account so that you can connect to me on LinkedIn. Ask me questions there. If I'm not able to answer your questions right now, so just ask questions there, and I will be able to help you there. And also, if you are facing any difficulty in any product or any project, let me just know there. Abdul Karim is asking, can you recommend some books? I can recommend one book. I think on large language model, there is a book called 100 Pages on LLM. Amazing book. Okay. 100 pages on large language model. I don't particularly remember the author, but I have never read a book like that. It's so concise, but still has a lot of things in it. And then for AI particularly, there is this advanced artificial intelligence, which I refer to by I think Pearson, and yeah, I think that's the book that I have. I particularly don't remember the books right now, maybe because of the fever that I'm having. I'm hardly recollecting any names, but I will suggest books by the end of this course. And uh, someone is asking me, can I define maths? I was about to take a session on math and all, but then I thought that a lot of people here are not from math background. Maybe so the math that we use in NLP is basically vector space, linear algebra, probability, and matrices. These four things, not complicated than any of these four things. Linear algebra, vector spaces or vector mathematics, matrices, multiplication, and all these things, and probability. So these four topics in maths is all you need for most of the AI, I guess. uh, Anurag is asking, what path do I follow to get my first job in the AI field? I think deciding where to go. Do you want to develop AI? Then you need to really brush up your maths and all, and maybe come up with some innovating things. If you want to use AI, then maybe work with a lot of tools like LangGraphs, learn a lot of convergence tech, like how can you use AI with different tech, like let's say augmented reality, and how can you blend augmented reality and artificial intelligence and create something new. And or just to be very good with large language models in particular, how can you make them behave in a particular way is what can guide you. And there'll be a proper career guidance session from someone who has been in HR for so long. I guess that person would be the right one. Entrepreneurs and early business owners like me have a tendency to hire whoever is passionate and wants to work really hard and make a mark in the field. So I will not be the right person to define that. No, no, it will not ask for premium version to ping me. Just ping me up. Uh, you are currently good at Java backend, Spring Boot, AWS. Wow. So you already have a lot of things in your kitty. Just just work with the state-of-the-art agentic AI tools, and then maybe create some projects on GitHub, publish them up, and but just focus. Like where do you want to go? Do you want to go in AI engineering, or are you interested in just designing AI softwares, and that would define your career path? Farhan is asking the tweet generator which we did in masterclass one. How do I implement that in my project? We will implement that later when we create a multi-agent system where we will use that tweet generator in this digital marketing multi-agent system that we are designing. Manish is asking, to become a data scientist, AI ML is required. Yes, it is required, or a very good knowledge of statistics. All right. Thank you so much, guys, for your lovely, lovely questions. And I can't stretch more. I think I have expensed all the energy that I had for today. See you in the next class and keep the same energy. You guys were the one who kept me going. Otherwise, I think I would not be able to take this class if this much participation was not there from your side. Thank you so much. Highly grateful. All right. Bye. Enjoy your evening.
Thank you so much, Amit, for taking today's session. We understood that you're not feeling well, but your commitment to still join us is greatly appreciated. And dear students, we hope that you have learned a lot of basic prompt engineering techniques for to have a multi-agent systems. So hopefully, Amit will be will be taking much more onto this topic in the next class. So once again, thank you so much for joining. We are sharing the attendance out form. Those who are not shaded, please fill the attendance out form. So thank you so much once again, students. Thank you all.